Okay, sorry for that interruption. So you guys might remember that we read the story of Alexander and the wind-up mouse. Remember that story? Yeah. What happened in the story? There was a little boy named Alexander, and then he had a friend. But what was going on with the friend? How were the two boys different? What do you think, Victoria?
Because one of them was like a wind-up one, and one of them were real.
One of them was wind-up, and one of them was real. What do you want to share, Brooklyn?
Because he didn't have one of those on his back, and he didn't have one too.
Oh, so this one had something on his back, like Victoria said, a wind-up, and he didn't, right?
Yeah.
So a wind-up and not a wind-up. What do you think, Zanaya?
It's because they don't have the same legs.
Oh, they don't have the same legs. I wonder why.
Because that one has the rolling.
Rolling thing?
And he has like regular legs.
Okay, so they're definitely different, right? The two mice, they're definitely different. So we're going to talk about how they are different, and we're going to learn about how they are different. Okay? All right, before we start, I'm going to go over some vocabulary that we're going to look at this week. So our first thing I want to look at is a basic need. Can you guys say basic need?
A basic need.
Yeah, a basic need is something living that needs to survive, like space, nutrients, water, shelter, and energy. So do we all need energy?
Yes.
Do we all need shelter?
Yes.
Do we all need water?
Yes.
Nutrients? Yeah, nutrients. That's like food. That gives us the energy. What about space?
Yes.
Yeah, space to move and grow. So those are basic needs that we, all four of us here at this table, need. We have basic needs. We need those.
Basic needs.
Basic needs. Then we have something right here. This word is offspring. Can you say offspring?
Offspring.
All right, so offspring is a new living thing made of other living things. So in this example with the picture, it shows a little baby plant and a big plant. Then it shows a little chickie and a big chicken. What do you think they're trying to show us with that, Victoria?
That the big chicken makes the little chicken, and the small and the big plant and the small plant makes the big plant.
Very good. Do you see that also, Brooklyn? Very good. That is offspring. Where did we all come from?
God.
God.
But
we
mom's belly.
From our moms. Our moms made us. We are our mom's offspring, right? So we are just like this plant and just like this chicken, this animal. All right, very good. Our main two vocabulary words that we're going to look at, we have the word living.
Living.
Everybody say living.
Living.
All right, so living requires energy. It grows and it can produce offspring, and it dies. Living things die. I mean, it happens, right? All right. And then non-living things is anything that is not living, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right, so I want to show you a few things really quick, and then I'm going to show you a video. So I have this rock right here. Have you guys noticed this rock on my table?
Yeah.
Yeah, this rock. But then I also have my cute little plant that I just got. Have you guys seen my plant?
Yeah.
All right, so these are two things. One is living, one is non-living. So what do you think?
That one's non-living, this one's living.
Why do you think that?
Because some plants make another plant.
Oh, that was something we just learned on that vocabulary card. You're right. What do you think, Brooklyn?
Because that one's a rock and that one's a plant.
This one is a rock and this one is a plant. But how do you know which one's living and non-living?
Because that one's a flower and it's shaped like a flower, and that one is a rock because it's not living.
Okay. What do you think, Sanaya? I'm Victoria, I'm sorry.
Rocks can't make anything.
Oh, rocks can't make anything. And you know what I'm thinking? In the definition of living, it says they produce offspring. So can this rock make another rock?
No.
Absolutely not. It cannot make another rock. So you are absolutely right. But we're going to learn more, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But I do have a little video that I'm going to show you, a warm-up activity, before we get started on our reading, okay? Let me get my laptop. And it is ready to go. Can you see it, Brooklyn?
Living and non-living things. Mona is at the park. She hears birds chirping and she sees fish in the pond. She sits under a tall tree for shade. Mona can also see the park playground with the slide, the park bench, and the ball that the children are throwing. Mona knows the birds, fish, and trees are living. Mona wonders about the other things she sees in the park, the slide, the bench, and the ball. If we want to know what is living and what is non-living, we need to ask ourselves some questions. Does it need water and food to live? A bird eats and drinks. A bird is a living thing. But a ball does not eat and drink. It is a non-living thing. Does it need air to breathe? A fish breathes. A fish is a living thing. But a boat doesn't breathe. It's a non-living thing. Does it move on its own? A bee flies on its own. A bee is a living thing. But a pot of honey can't fly. It's a non-living thing. Does it grow and change? Plants grow. Plants are living things. But a house doesn't grow. It's a non-living thing. Living things need food, water, shelter, and they breathe. Non-living things do not need any of these things. The slide, the bench, the ball are all non-living. Living things move on their own. Non-living things do not move on their own.
All right, very. That was a quick little video about living and non-living. Before we get started reading our chapter from our video, I'm going to pass you out our reading. And the title, of course, is Living and Non-Living. Living and Non-Living. So before we get started, I want to look at the headings. The headings are important when we're reading, right? The headings are going to help us understand what we're reading. So one of the headings I see is down here. It's highlighted in bold black right here. And it says living things have basic needs. Hey, we learned about that vocabulary word, basic needs. What were some of the basic needs that we talked about? What do you think, Brooklyn? Basic needs, something that we need. What do we need?
Air.
Air. We need air.
We need shelter, and we need water. We need clothes. What else?
Shelter, definitely. Water, energy. Oh, you know what energy reminds me of? You know what I'm thinking? Do you remember a few weeks ago when we were talking about objects in the sky?
The
Yeah.
sun energy.
The sun provides energy, right? The
Yeah.
sun provides energy. Oh, I'm so glad you guys made that connection to something that we already learned. Great job. All right, let's turn to the next page. Let's look at the next heading. Can you turn to page 2, please?
Look at
Page 2. Perfect. The next heading says, living things also grow and change. Living things also grow and change. Then the next heading, living things react to the world around them. Oh, and I'm looking at some pictures too of some exciting things. What do you notice, Brooklyn?
This one's big, this one's medium, and this one's little, and this one's getting little, and little, and little, and little.
Oh, you're noticing the change. The plant's changing. I love it. What are you noticing, Victoria?
like they build up, so it's like starts from here, and then it changes, and it starts sprouting.
And what is it? That's a plant, right?
Yeah, and
The
it's a
plant. Oh, like what plant? I love that you're making that connection.
It has more color.
Has more color, absolutely. All right, let's turn to the next page. Let's look at the next. Let's look at the next heading. All right, in the middle of the page says living things can reproduce. What does that mean, reproduce, I wonder? What does reproduce mean? Victoria?
Maybe like build up again.
Build up again. What do you think?
It's probably because you're going like that.
Reproduce. Well, I'm looking at the pictures, and these pictures kind of look familiar. I'm looking at these pictures. I want you to think. I don't want you to tell me yet. I want you to tell your partner in just a second. Y'all, Victoria, you're gonna tell Zanaya. Zanaya, you're gonna listen and then tell her. And Brooklyn, you're gonna tell me. Looking at the picture, what do you think living things can reproduce? What does that mean, reproduce? Think in your head. All right, go ahead and tell your partner. Come here, Brooklyn. Come tell me.
Maybe it could build something. Because remember that picture? And yeah, the hen builds the chicken.
He can grow another one.
Oh my goodness, you were so right.
So that one could have a
Good
baby,
job.
and this one could grow up and
Oh, girls, what did y'all talk about? I know what me and Brooklyn talked about. What did y'all talk about?
I said that this could have a baby and that it could grow up and then have it. Because it could rebuild another.
Rebuild and reproduce, regrow. What do you
This one, it's here, it starts small and then it grows big.
Very good. I love it. You guys are doing a great job. And let's look at the last page really quick before we start reading. At the top of page 4, are you on page 4? Okay. It says, we can sort living and non-living things. Guess what, guys? By the end of this lesson, we are going to be sorting living and non-living things. And I think y'all are ready for it. I think y'all are doing a good job. So if we were to sort right now, my rock and my plant, Brooklyn, which one of these would be living and which one would be non-living?
That one's living and this one's not.
Oh my goodness, you're right. So if I were to sort them right now, non-living and living. And how did you know to sort it like that?
Because that one's living and it's a plant and that one's not a plant.
Okay. How else could she sort it? How else would she know that, Zanaya?
Because this plant, it's small and then it grows bigger.
It grows, right?
Yeah.
What else, Victoria? What do you think?
It feels more alive, maybe like texture.
Texture. Okay. Very good. All right, I'm going to put these to the side, and I want you to turn back to page 1. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on page 1, and you guys are going to follow along as I read, okay?
Okay.
All right. It says, if you are cold, what can you do to get warm? You could put on a coat and a hat. You could jump in place. These are ways you might react to the cold. Now think about a rock. If a rock is somewhere cold, can a rock do anything to get warm?
No.
No. Does it need to be warm?
No.
No. Well, living things like humans, like us here in this group and all the friends in our classroom, they react to the cold, right? And this helps them stay alive. But rocks, they don't react to the cold. Rocks are not alive, like you girls just told me. So how do we know if something is alive? Yes, Victoria?
It reacts.
Yes. So living things, they have basic needs. And go ahead.
Like a living thing could probably like freeze,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you know it's like reacting maybe.
Okay. So living things must have certain things to stay alive. We need certain things, but non-living things, they don't have needs. Does this rock need nutrients?
No.
But do we need nutrients?
Yeah.
Does this rock need energy?
No.
But do we need energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So living things, we need basic needs. Non-living things do not. So one basic need of living things is energy. Like how we made that connection that the sun gives things energy. And living things use food and water to get energy. So there are 3 pictures down here at the bottom of your page. The first we have is a deer.
Mhm.
The deer is living and it eats grass for energy. And then we have a bird. Is that bird living?
Yes.
Yes, it says the bird is living and it needs fish for energy. The last picture is a balloon. Brooklyn, is that balloon living?
No, you can pop it.
You can pop it, and the balloon does not need energy. Very good. Let's turn to the next page.
Out my hair.
On page 2 at the top, it says living things also grow and change. This is part of their life cycle. Living things do not, no, I'm sorry, non-living things do not grow by themselves. So you were right. On this picture that we looked at earlier in preview, it says plants are living things, and this plant gets taller over time. And you can see how it grows and changes. So you are absolutely right. So over time, if we were to look at these two things in a month, do you think that this rock is going to change?
No.
But do you think my plant is going to change?
Yeah.
Yes, my plant is going to get bigger.
And
Yes.
bigger and bigger and
Yes. So, on this page in the middle, we have 3 items. I see a duck, I see a mug, and I see a pinwheel. What? Yeah, a pinwheel.
Oh
like
yeah, you gave it to us.
like when we were talking about, when we were talking about wind and we looked at the pinwheels. We were talking about weather. So, which of those things do you think will grow? Do you think that duck will grow, Zanaya?
Yeah.
Do you think the mug is going to grow, Brooklyn?
No.
No. What about the pinwheel?
No.
No. Now the pinwheel will move
Yeah.
with the wind, but it's not gonna grow.
Yeah, it's
All
not
right.
gonna work.
No, it's not. All right, towards the bottom it says living things react to the world around them. This helps them stay safe and healthy. Non-living things cannot react to the world around them. So, for instance, we've talked about this. At the bottom, the first picture, I see some trees. And how are those trees reacting to the change of the season? What's happening in that picture?
They're changing colors.
They're changing colors.
Oh, and they're falling down.
They're falling down. I love it. In the next picture, I see a cat. And it looks like she might be in danger. How is that cat reacting to danger? What do you think, Sanaya?
Mad.
She's mad. She's got her mouth open. She's like, ah. If this rock was in danger, do you think the rock is going to react?
No.
It's not going to react. You are absolutely right.
It's a rock.
Let's turn to the next page.
It's a heavy map.
If something moves, is it alive? Because cars move.
Yeah,
Are
but
cars
people
alive?
drive it.
Ah, not always. So many living things move to react to changes around them, but some non-living things can move too, like a car. What do you want to share, Zanaya?
So one time when we were at home, well, we were not at home, we were going places, and my dad went to go warm up the food, and he left us in a driving car.
Oh my goodness. Is Brooklyn?
This can move.
Yes, we're going to get to that right now. And it says, so a car can move, but it's not living, is it?
Yeah.
No,
No.
it's not. If you're coming in, just come in quietly. Grab an iPad. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, just set it down. Thank you. All right. Living things can reproduce. They can make new living things of the same kind. For example, animals have babies and plants make new seeds. Non-living things cannot reproduce. Like Victoria told us at the beginning, this rock cannot make another rock, can it? No, it cannot. Very good. All right, the last page is where we are going to sort, but we're not going to sort just yet because we're going to stop and get our writing journals so that we can do some writing in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and stop right now.
Your matches.